Listen up. You're watching TikToks all day anyway, so why not get paid for it? Ever thought about making money from TikTok but you don't have any followers? Well, forget the 1,000 follower rule. GFN Vault has just changed the game. AFTV and DR Sports have partnered with one of the biggest UK creators, Anthony Owo, to bring you GFN Vault.
Our agency helps you earn, grow, succeed with exclusive support. With 0 following, you can start earning straight away. No gimmicks, no catches, 100% free.
Every big creator started from nothing, including me. So why not you?
Whether that is football, gaming clips, or just chatting complete and utter rubbish, anyone can be a creator, just like me.
So hit the link right now, get involved, and start earning today with GFN Vault. Do not sleep on this. Hi, and welcome along to AFTV. Joining us tonight for our 7 p.m. live, no bias Premier League show today. That is going to be happening on Wednesday of this week, right? We're coming after the big game tomorrow. So happening on Wednesday. One of the reasons being Ty wanted to go to an under-21s game tonight. Who are they playing?
I think they're playing Derby County.
Where at?
I think it's at home.
At home, all right. So he wanted to go to that game. Plus, as well, we thought, let's do it sort of after the game. And I'll tell you what, he'd be raging. Well, he's already been raging about that Everton, the referee in that game, right? But what we're going to focus on today is the big game tomorrow, Arsenal versus Real Madrid. I want to hear from as many of you as possible. How are you feeling? The game is tomorrow. We are nearly there. The biggest game of Arsenal's season, one of the biggest games of Arsenal's seasons in recent times, right? Want to hear from as many as you as possible as how are you feeling. Can we do it? Can we beat them? I'm joined by my daughter Kenya today, right? Kenya, how are you feeling ahead of this game?
I'm excited, actually.
You're going to be at the game. You're lucky enough to have a ticket.
Yeah. I'm actually really excited for the game. Like, just taking out the fear factor of it, it's actually like really. These are the games you want to play as like an Arsenal, as an Arsenal fan. These are the games you want to see your team play. So I'm actually really excited. And then as well, like, it's a good time to see where we're at. I know we got a lot of injuries and stuff, but you know, in times of adversity, we've got to see if we can stick it out or not.
Yeah, it's an absolutely massive game. And of course, you know, there are injuries. We know that Arsenal have had some injury issues leading into this game.
Yeah.
And the big one, of course, is Gabriel. So what's going to be really important tomorrow is what that team is going to be.
Yeah.
Who comes in? Is it Jakob Kiwior, or does Ben White start alongside Saliba? Obviously, Gabriel is a massive, massive miss. Yeah. What are you feeling on it?
I don't know, you know. I think Kiwior did pretty well against Everton. He didn't put a foot wrong, actually. And I think considering obviously Beto's not an Mbappe, but like look at how much trouble he gave Virgil van Dijk and Konate.
Yeah.
They could just about deal with him. So I think it's a good indicator to see where Kiwior's at. But I can't lie, I would probably play it. Ben White if Ben White can play, I mean, he started against Everton. He played like 60 minutes or something. If he can play, then he would kind of be the one that I would want to see, because we know we can all trust Ben White, and we've seen Ben White and Saliba. I feel like there's times where, like, now that Saliba's in a kind of different role in the sense that we're now looking at him to lead the back line, he'd probably feel more comfortable with Ben as opposed to Jakob, to be honest. So Ben would kind of be my pick, not gonna lie. But
okay. Comments coming in already. Mark Williams says Arsenal can't do it. Look how poor Liverpool are, and they're winning the league so easy. But get this out of your head, people. Liverpool are not poor. They're a very, very good side. Yesterday, they lost their second game of the season. They've only lost 2 games this season, so they're not poor, right? It's the rest of the league that hasn't been up to scratch, but Liverpool have not been poor. A clip said, we said this last year about Bayern. Let's hope we've learned our lesson from that game against Bayern. I felt at that time, our kind of lack of experience let us down in the Champions League. It was our first time back for quite a while. Hopefully there'll be a bit more experience. We have been doing really well in the Champions League this year. We've got Dominic who says, can't wait. Let's go and rally our boys through this first leg. Vivian Campbell says, Robbie, big up from Jamaica. Big up to you. Sin says, fans, we're not scared. Yoda, you will be.
Nah. We're on the Luke Skywalker tick. Do you know what I mean?
Chuck says, Madrid's not as good as everybody thinks this season. We have a very good chance. Well, people, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be getting a Real Madrid fan on very, very soon from a really good channel. It's called Let's Be Real, right? And we're going to hear from them about how Real have been playing and what he thinks their chances are, etc., etc. So that's going to be coming up on the show in about the we're going to be getting them up in about the next 5 minutes. So look out for Farouk, who's going to be coming up and talking about Real Madrid from the Let's Be Real channel. Rodder says, time for Arsenal to rise.
Time to rise. What more of a statement can you make than beating Real Madrid? The kings of the Champions League, the kings of Europe. What more, like, you win that now, everyone's looking at it like, rah, this team, look how depleted they are. Look at all the bad decisions against them. Look all the adversity they've gone through. And they've gone against Real Madrid and they've actually stepped it up and they've done something. Like they won the game. They're looking into it, looking in positive. You go and win that. That's a massive boost, not only to fans, not only to the club, but to the players themselves. Go and do it. Go and do it at all costs.
Dano Jr. says, Robbie, big up yourself. I was honestly hoping for a better Arsenal versus Real Madrid content. All of the content was man standing outside the stadium. What's that?
With not a full structure.
With not a full structure. I'm not sure what he's going on about, but you know, because the preview's not even come out yet, has it?
No, I don't think so.
So I don't know. Maybe you can look into the future. We've done previews of the game. You're going to see those coming out today, right? So look out for those. So we did a preview outside the ground today. We also did our predicted 11. I'll tell you what, that place is going to be absolutely rocking tomorrow. Yeah. There's a march on the stadium tomorrow. When I say a march on the stadium, it's not in a bad way. Yeah. You're not marching about ticket prices or anything like that, or owners out or nothing like that. The march is to encourage the team. So they're going to be marching tomorrow to encourage the team. Big march. And they're encouraging everyone to join. I think it starts around about 7:15.
Yeah, probably
6:15, around about that time, and they're going to be marching down to the stadium. They've been doing it for a lot of the big game. Flares are out, etc., etc. The atmosphere in there tomorrow is going to be absolutely electric. Yeah. I cannot wait.
You must. I mean, the players. You saw what Trossard said. He was there putting out an appeal for the fans to really get the noise up, and I think obviously when that makes a massive difference. I mean, look at when we played Man City this season. Everyone was like amped up for it, and we won it. We thrashed them. Do you know what I mean? Even like last season, I think it was like Cecil I was saying to you. I was saying when I went to that Man City, where we beat Man City 1-0 last season as well, that was like one of the best atmospheres of the season for me. Yeah, it was so loud. So it's important that we're, you know.
Yeah, I think it's important that you get off to a good start as well. We get off to a good start. Really keep the crowd behind us as well. There's no doubt when that whistle kicks off tomorrow, that place is going to be on fire. Yeah. Absolute fire. But the last thing you need is like for Real Madrid to get early goal and just kill the vibes. What we will need to do is keep that fire burning right throughout the game. It's so important this first leg that we get a win. I feel it is. I feel if we go to the Bernabeu with a deficit, bit like, you know, last year. I mean, we didn't lose the game last year against Bayern, right? But it was a draw. I really did feel we were up against it. This time around, I think when you're playing a team like Real Madrid, you need some sort of goals on the board. Like,
you need to be ultra organized as well. You need to like know your game plan, know what you're doing. Because Real Madrid are a team. I feel like a lot of fans as well are like under this impression that Real Madrid are going to come and they're just going to be full attacking. Like, we've actually seen Real Madrid park the bus and win. We saw them against Man City where they're like, right, we know these teams can't really do a low block. We're just going to low block, and they made their way through. So they're actually a very adaptable team. So like you said, we need to be on our A game if we
Yeah,
want.
and Ancelotti talking today about how, sounding like he's going to be quite pragmatic.
Yeah.
In his tactics, he's not going to go all out attack. He's going to sort of,
Yeah, and if I'm
feel
being
the game out of it.
That's probably the best way to play against us, because look at all of, we've drawn 11 times this season, which is too many. But all of those draws have been against teams that were ultra pragmatic. Very just like, okay, we're not going to do much. We're going to catch you on the counter. We're going to try our luck. And for them, it kind of worked.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Some super chats here. Russ the Mouse says, I love that name, Russ the Mouse. He says, Don, I put my kids' college fund on Madrid to win. This will be legendary. Well, if when your kids ain't going to school,
Yeah.
And
when
your
they're
kids
going open university, we will be there.
when your kids have got no schooling and they turn around and say, Dad, why did you do this to me? He said, yeah, I bet to Madrid to win. And they said, how could you have done that?
Yeah.
Arsenal had a chance. What chance do you guys out there give Arsenal for this game? Let me do a couple more super chats. Joey AFC, largely a regular, and he says, let's go, Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners. And Lovepreet Singh says, I'm a diehard Madrid fan, but my English team that I really love is Arsenal. So I'm kind of confused. No need for confusion. Back the Arsenal. They've won it loads of times. How many more times do they want to win it?
They don't need any more.
They don't need it no more.
They could go on like a 20-year hiatus.
They are hey, Real Madrid are greedy, How many more of these are going to win? Give someone else a chance, man.
Yeah, it's not by force. It's not by force, man. But yeah, we need to rise.
Oh, Samuel bigging up says, keep this lady on the show. She's phenomenal.
Oh, thank
Brilliant.
you.
That's good to know.
You, Samuel.
Let's hope it's not another game tomorrow where we will be playing against the PGMOL and not Real Madrid. Well, fortunately for us, it's not the PGMOL.
Yeah, but we could get English ref.
No, you can't. You can't get an English ref.
Why not?
It has to be a neutral ref, so you can't get an English ref. Savior Isaac says, Robbie, is that your daughter? Yes, it is.
Yes, we look alike.
Yes, it is.
Kinda.
Right. By the way, people, don't forget tomorrow. We're also doing a big watch party. That's taking place tomorrow at the Box Park in Shoreditch. Beautiful location. If the weather's like this, it's going to be brilliant as well because they've got loads of little outdoor bits. Yeah. If you want to get yourself down there, make sure you can get in by going onto their website and booking a place. But we're doing a big watch party down there. We're live down there. We're going to be speaking to fans after the game. Right, so make sure you get down to the Box Park. Also, I'm going to be at the game tomorrow. Kenny will be at the game as well. I'm going to be speaking to fans outside the ground tomorrow and getting their opinions on what they felt and how they thought the game went. If it turns out like this, I might be happy. Zim Gunner says 3-1 to Arsenal. Yachtman says we've got a 21% chance. Tina says 10%. European heritage wins.
Oh, forbid, man.
Mangi says, Robbie, it's time. It's time for Arsenal to go out and win. 75% chance of winning at Arsenal. Let's do it. That's high.
Wow. That's really high. I wouldn't go that high, but we have a chance, but not like they've obviously they're kind of the favourites.
Yeah, they're definitely the favourites.
They're the favourites.
So Gunnosaurus says, will there be a hate along on the DR Sports Studio? I'm not sure about that. I think it may be. There may be.
We're shutting that down because we need the positive vibes, fam. We don't know expressions, no KG. We need the positive vibes, bro.
Madrid are made for these nights, says Lieutenant General. Well, listen, certainly, in past years, they do have that European heritage. Yeah, Edwin says we are beating Madrid tomorrow 2-0.
I hope you're right, bro.
2-0.
I hope you're right.
7-1 again. Listen, if it was that,
if it was that would be wild.
Yeah, there is no way we're beating Madrid 7-1. I wish in my dreams. Respect Nature says Arsenal 3, Real 1. 4-0 to Madrid, though, says Red Vision. Arsenal winning 1-0. Oh, no, sorry. What was it? We're going to do it, Robbie, says Wayne. Arsenal winning 1-0 against Madrid. This one here says 3-1. A lot of positivity today. Adam says Arsenal will beat Madrid. If that doesn't happen, then it's because of the refs behind them. Listen, please don't let refs come into tomorrow. Please.
I just want it to be a good game of football.
Yeah.
It's a massive game. And I even feel like as fans, but even as neutrals, you actually just want to see these two really good teams play each other. You don't really want to see the ref getting involved. And
no, please not. Isabella says, what would be your back four for tomorrow?
Okay, I'm going Timber at right back. I'd go Saliba, Ben White. I don't know who you move to left centre back, but maybe Saliba because he's played there for France and he's quite comfortable there. And I'd go Lewis Skelly left back because defence, I feel like, our fullbacks, they're not going to be able to do what they usually do, which is invert, get in there because, you've got Vinicius Jr. and you've got Rodrigo to really be looking at, and even Mbappe. So that would be my back four, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm going with that back four. I'm going. So, sorry, what did you say, Ben?
So I said Ben White, Saliba, centre backs, and Timber, Lewis Skelly as our fullbacks.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to see. Yeah. Although I do think he's probably going to go with Kivior.
Yeah,
Kivior did all right. He got the man of the match.
Yeah, he got man of the match.
Man of the match at the weekend against Everton.
Yeah,
but this is a different type of game, and I just feel Ben White.
Yeah. My only thing is that my thing with Kivior is that when Real Madrid are going to counter a lot, and we've seen him already. He gets look at when we played Fulham, how easy Adama Traore just brushed him off. Yeah. That's what worries me. You're coming up against Vinicius, Mbappe, Rodrigo, who are like kings of counter-attacking.
Yeah. So Gunnosaurus says Arsenal need to win at least 5-0 tomorrow. In our dreams. Madrid are resilient, could score 6 goals after the 90th minute at the Bernabeu. You know what, right? We've got a Madrid fan on. They've got an excellent channel called Let's Be Real, right? And we're going to get him up right now. We've got Farouk. We got Farouk there. How you doing, Farouk?
Hi, Robbie. Nice to meet here with you guys. Yeah, I'm good today. I'm good. It's just nice, listening to you guys and the fans and seeing the optimism that you guys have. It's great to see that.
No, great to have you on. Tell us about your channel.
Yeah, our channel actually is a channel that was born, for fans, by fans. To the fans, just like we were actually inspired by what you guys have done over the years, the camps you guys had outside the Emirates and all that. So we've been doing this for 4 years, and we've really been growing gradually bit by bit, and we've covered Real Madrid by the fans. We have people based in Madrid who are going to games, having fan camps after the match, and we've been lucky to have really good hosts, also friends of AFTV on the channel as well over the past years, and we've had really good ties, incredible moments. But yeah, it's been so far so good.
Yeah, no, great channel, man. I was watching some of your videos over the weekend. Now, Real Madrid over the weekend suffered a shock defeat at home, a real shock defeat against Valencia, because you guys have been going for the title, a real setback to your title hopes. Real Madrid this season, because listen, we all know that the heritage of Real Madrid in this competition is second to none. You've won it the most times. But are Real Madrid been faltering a bit this season, or was just that a blip at the weekend?
No, that's more or less, that game could more or less be the summary of our season, actually, because this season we've lost 5 games. We still have 8 more games to play. Last season, we lost 1 game also out the league. And also we've lost 3 in the Champions League as well. It's been quite up and down. Like the addition of Kylian Mbappe, actually, we all thought it's going to take us to the next level, but still, the team hasn't really found that chemistry. The gel hasn't been there yet. We've been up and down, actually. So it's been a bit iffy. Like, as you said, it was really a blow losing the game, at home against Valencia. Like, to put that into context, Valencia hadn't defeated any of the big 3 in Spain for the past 3 years. Not even defeat, they haven't gotten a single point of any of the big 3 in Spain for the past 3 years, and they come to the Bernabeu and they won almost at a counter. It was quite shocking. It was a shock for us, but fortunately Barcelona couldn't get their business done later that day, so we are still in the thick of things. But yeah, it's not as good as it's supposed to be on paper for Real Madrid right now.
Okay, well, listen, right. What about coming into this game? This is the first time that we've met for a long time, right? And surprisingly, we haven't played a lot, but Arsenal's not been beaten by Real Madrid the times we've played. But what do Real Madrid fans make of Arsenal, and what do Real Madrid fans make of this game? How are they feeling about this game away at Arsenal tomorrow for Real Madrid?
Actually, I do think for us, as Real Madrid fans, we are quite optimistic. I think we're as optimistic as the Arsenal fan base. But one thing that we also have highlighted, within our fan base is that Arsenal is a team that's primed to exploit some of the, or rather the greatest deficiencies that Real Madrid have. Arsenal is a team of 9 giants. Arsenal is a team that explores set pieces like their penalties. Real Madrid cannot defend set pieces and cannot score set pieces for their life. If our lives depended on it, we don't know how to defend set pieces. So, when you see what Arsenal are doing, so that scares you. Well, other than that, I'll be honest, Robbie, like, I kind of feel like Arsenal has degraded, like, or rather, let's say, has gone in the reverse direction. Like, we remember what Arsenal were like in 23, 24, 22. Like, that's an Arsenal team that you could score 5 against them and they'll score 7 against you, But right now it's an Arsenal team that's like, okay, we get a corner, we score, and you just can't score against us. So this is something that actually like worries also Real Madrid fans, because we feel that that's something that we don't have the ability to exploit. But then if there's anything about our team that we feel will get the job done against Arsenal, is the individual brilliance of our offensive trio. You guys have rightly mentioned Vinicius Junior, Kylian Mbappe, and Rodrigo. We're not going to go on the offensive at the Emirates. We're going to sit back, soak the pressure up, and just hit you guys on the counter. And yeah, I mean, God help whoever is defending Vinicius, Kylian Mbappe, and Rodrigo.
Thank you. God help, he says. God help him. I mean, listen, that front three is frightening, right? Out of that front three, who's the one that's been playing the best this season out of that front three for you guys?
It's been Kylian Mbappe. I think for the first couple of months, Kylian Mbappe actually was really, really shaky. I think it was, that was culminated in the game he played at Anfield where he missed a penalty, and also the game at the weekend also he missed another penalty against Bilbao as well. But ever since there's been a switch, honestly, like Kylian Mbappe is hands down the best of the front three. Right now, honestly, unfortunately, Vinicius Junior has not been performing to the levels that he has been in the previous years. But one thing we know about Vini as well is that he shows up for these kind of games. For the 4 years he's been performing for Real Madrid, he shows up when it matters the most. The finals, the semi-finals, the quarterfinals. This is what he does. So we are hoping that, Vini also picks up the slack. And Rodrigo is also a player that, we sleep on a lot, but he's a phenomenal player. But yeah, just to answer your question, like Kylian Mbappe without doubt. All
right. What about at the back though? Because you just said, you have a problem in defending set pieces. We know, we've been complaining not complaining, but we've been moaning our misfortune in Gabriel, who's been an absolutely massive player for us this season, being out of the back. But also Real Madrid, you've been missing key players at the back. Militao, no Militao. Rudiger's had his injury problems as well, even though he should be back for this game. Carvajal, of course, who's absolutely, I love him as a player. He's been out for the season. What would be your back four, you think, tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think, not just back four, you should actually consider back five, because like Thibaut also has an issue that, he didn't play at the weekend as well. So like, we're not exactly sure what to expect with Thibaut Courtois, and like his understudy, Andre Lunin, also is out injured. So again, it could be really, really interesting if we have to play our third choice goalkeeper. Like that's going to be really difficult. So we don't know what's going on there. But to come to the back four, like we just heard also that Ferland Mendy is going to be out. So it's going to be Fran Garcia against Bukayo Saka. Again, that's, something that you absolutely do not want to see. And then for our centre-back pairing,
so Ferland Mendy's definitely out. He's not back for the game.
Mendy's not going to play the game tomorrow. Yeah.
Wow.
Mendy's not playing tomorrow, yeah. So it's going to be Fran Garcia. Like, Fran has improved a lot this season, like, honestly. But again, I do feel like, Mendy is the best defenders when it comes to fullbacks. Like, offensively, he's an absolute zero. But when it comes to defending, he's the player you want against these guys. But unfortunately, we have to play Fran Garcia tomorrow. And for our centre-back pairing, it's going to be Rudiger and Raul Asensio. It's Raul Asensio is the youngster who stepped up from the academy, with the injuries of David Alaba. He's done absolutely well. And that's the thing, like he's a different kind of profile, because like he's a player who defends first and thinks about stuff later. Generally, we've had players who try to be fancy on the ball and stuff like that, but the no-nonsense defending of Raul Asensio, and also like the lack of fear that he has shown, similar to what you guys have with Kelly. He's a player that doesn't fear his occasion. He's really stepped up big time. And finally, to round out the right back, which is absolutely the weakest spot that we have, it most likely would be Lucas Vazquez. And the issue is that normally we might actually play Fede Valverde there, although like Carlo might still find a way to play Fede Valverde. But the issue is because like Tchouaméni is suspended for this game, so that brings a deficit in the middle of the park as well. So you will play your best central midfielder as a fullback when your starting defensive midfielder also is out of the game. So this is it's absolutely not the best time defensively for Real Madrid right now.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny, did you want to ask something there?
No. I think it's quite interesting that you mentioned Valverde, because from what I was thinking, I was like, right, he maybe play Valverde right back, and we all know Valverde in midfield he's one of the best midfielders around, in my opinion. He's one of the most complete players. So I think if he was to be playing right back, I mean, he's still on the pitch, so we know what he can do. He might be inverting into that midfield, but it might be more of a benefit to whoever's playing on that wing. Like, let's say Martinelli, for example, who he's not a natural right back, but what you can say about him, he's gonna, if he does play there, he kind of reminds me of Gabriel in the sense that, like, he puts it all out there. Do you know what I mean? Who fights for his shirt and that. So, and then Lucas Vazquez as well. I mean, I thought he was okay. Am I right to say he came on against Atletico? He didn't start, did he?
Nope.
Yeah, so he came on against Atletico. He missed a penalty as well. But, like, again, he's a very experienced player. So although they're light, look what they can kind of call upon.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about players that we're missing at the back.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of what you're explaining there. You're kind of missing more players at the back, aren't you? Because
Alaba as well.
Alaba, these are some big players.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? Tuamini who stepped in.
The issue is that, so you look at the replacements. You talk about, okay, Lucas Vazquez is a seasoned player and everything, but let's not forget Lucas Vazquez is a right winger. He's not a fullback. He was converted into the fullback position. Then you look at the player that he is replacing. It's Dani Carvajal, who was a Ballon d'Or contender last year. So the drop off is phenomenal. Like, it's crazy, the gap that exists there. And while Lucas Vazquez is a player that everyone knows his limitation, we know what he is and what he can offer. But when you go against teams like Martinelli, I know Martinelli is not in the best of form, but like Martinelli is a player that we've seen for years and we know what he can do. So Martinelli is going to be salivating, playing against a defender like Lucas Vazquez, who doesn't. Positional awareness of Lucas Vazquez is absolute zero. It's a matter of moment before he makes a rash tackle that leads to a pen or something like that. So it's really, really difficult. Yeah, these players are experienced. They've won stuff over the years and all that. But honestly, like right now, defensively, there's just a huge drop off from what we were last season. Also, let's not forget this. Like, Rudiger is going to be going against a very physical team. He's 1 yellow card away from suspension again at the Bernabeu. So that's also another, background. Just
who's 1 card away?
So I think for you guys, Rudiger,
Lucas Vazquez, Vinicius Junior, Luka Modric, Endrick, they're all 1 card. Also Eduardo Camavinga as well. They're all one
yellow away. For us, it's Martinelli, Timber, and Declan Rice, which all
those are big players as well.
Especially someone like Timber.
Because
like you, we're so depleted in the back line. Yeah. If we were to lose Timber, that's a massive loss. Yeah,
because he's such a good player. He's been very good for us this season. Yeah. And it was when he went down injured last week, I was so scared. I was thinking, no Gabriel or Saliba up against Mbappe, right? Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo, pray. Yeah. But he's back. That's good news because he's a very good defender.
Very physical. Sorry for interrupting. Like, I was wondering, the combination of Saliba and Gabriel seems to be the best in the Premier League. But now that Gabriel's gone, how is Saliba fared without Gabriel though?
Well, Saliba's he's still quality.
Saliba.
He's still Saliba. He's still quality. And that's been what we've been discussing. We've been discussing who do we put in alongside Saliba. Now, obviously, when Gabriel's fit, that combination there is absolutely brilliant. One of the best around, I think, in any league. I'd say when you look at the Premier League, obviously you've got Van Dijk and Konate. That's obviously another great partnership. And the partnership at Nottingham Forest this season of Murillo and Milenkovic has been great. But that partnership has been brilliant. And you look at Arsenal, with those two in there, they don't concede a lot of goals. Yeah. Right? So it's been a great partnership. Now, it's who comes in. Do we bring in Jakub Kiwior, who's, he's a Polish international. He's a good player. He's an honest player. Yeah. But he's not Gabriel. Or do we bring in Ben White? Ben White can also play as a centre-back. Or even Timber and play as a centre-back who can also play as a centre-back and play those alongside him and move Saliba over onto the left-hand side of centre-back where he does play for France. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does tomorrow. Yeah. But obviously, Gabriel is a huge miss for Arsenal, especially when you talk about Real Madrid's weakness on set pieces. Yeah. I mean, he's our set-piece general. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he's out for the season.
Look, he scored against Sporting. I think as well, when we played Sporting, I think I don't remember what our form was like in the league, but a lot of people were like, oh, are you going to beat Sporting? I remember Flex being like, oh, are you sure? We did win, and Gabriel scored in that game, and, he was up against Victor Gyökeres, who we can all say is incredible, and he did really well.
Yeah.
So I think, Saliba is incredible, but Gabriel kind of ties all of our backline together.
Yeah.
He makes everything work. He's the oil to the he oils the cog to make it turn. You know.
Yeah, I think you can make a similar, relation to what we had with Rafael Varane and Sergio Ramos. Like Varane was a monster in his own right, but with Sergio Ramos, Ramos, as you rightly pointed, was like he couldn't kind of glue that kept everything together. So that was just actually when we heard about the injury. Of course, it's unfortunate, but first he was like, yeah, okay, now we have a chance against those guys, because honestly, like I feel like that's the best combo that we have in the Premier League, and even in the world, maybe it can be in Europe right now. I just can't think of a better combination, rather than what you guys have there. So it's quite interesting to know that.
And by the way, keep your hands off, right? Because we're hearing you lot talking about Saliba and that. Hands off, yeah? Right, yeah.
I tell you, man, you guys don't win anything this year, and he doesn't sign a contract this summer. Next year, he's gone.
Hands off, man. You know what I mean?
Contract this summer. Next year,
he ain't Trent Alexander-Arnold. Leave us alone.
Getting him one of them Chelsea 7 years.
Yeah, put him on one of them Chelsea contracts, man. And you know what I mean? 20 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Locked in for life.
The other thing, what was it? That was really interesting what you were saying about sort of right back position there, because he's come back from injury, Gabriel, over the last couple of games. I don't think Gabriel Martinelli I'm talking about. He hasn't looked the greatest this season. The last couple of games he's come back, he's looked electric, like he's back to his best. That could be a very interesting one. And of course, Saka is back. Do you look on that with Saka back and think to yourself, oh, that might be a problem?
I actually was hoping that we could go to the Emirates without having to play Saka, actually, because Saka is a whole different kind of baller. And it's like he's that, like, okay, maybe Salah is maybe like saying he's the kind of Salah player might be too much, but he's that kind of player, like everything gravitates towards him. So like whether you like it or not, you just have to find a way to eliminate Saka from the game. And he's so good and he's so fast that it's impossible to do that. But I don't know how good he's back, how good he's been since he's been back. But I know he scored at the, on his return or something like that. So it's going to be really, really difficult, especially now when we do not have, our first choice left back as well. It's going to be super, super difficult to deal with Bukayo Saka. There's just some players that you just have to accept that, okay, they're going to cause the damage, But the point is that, okay, you have to try to limit the damage that they can cause. And I think Saka is one of those players. Like, you just have to agree that, okay, he's going to cause us some damage, but we just have to limit that. But unfortunately, right now, I just do not see how we can limit that, honestly. For Gabriel Martinelli, I think we can find a way, because if you play Lucas Vazquez already, like we have, Federico already covering for him as well. So I think we can find a way to mitigate what, Martinelli can bring or not bring to the team. But I do think, the bigger problem would be how we deal with what, Bukayo Saka does against Fran Garcia.
Okay, here's one for you. This is Rostermouse. He says, love Vinny, but the whining is getting boring now. He needs to cook defenders instead of the constant whining. That said, pray for Kivio.
I think actually that was a perfect spot on, Chad. I think it's just the both, I think every Real Madrid fan would ask, like, it's always the same, like, Vinicius whines too much, like he complains too much. And this is the thing, like every great player we've seen in the world, has had these issues. Like we've seen, Cristiano go to stadiums where they chant Messi. We've seen Messi go to stadiums where they chant Cristiano. I mean, Luis Figo had a pig thrown at him, like, for God's sake, So this is all part of the game. And, you just have to, like, of course, sometimes fans cross the line and you cannot accept that. But the point is, for every foul, you just can't, go antagonizing the ref, you can go antagonizing the defenders and everything. So I think, honestly, Vinicius Jr., like, the biggest obstacle to him becoming, the biggest thing in football, it's himself. Until and unless he gets rid of that, I think he's always just going to be, because we've seen Jude Bellingham came to the team and you can see how Bellingham carries himself. Kylian Mbappe has come to the team as well. We can see how Kylian Mbappe carries himself. So, like, why is Vinny not doing that?
Yeah.
And, like, okay, there is an agenda against, it's this and that, but okay, why is it not happening to Jude Bellingham? Why is it not happening to Rodrigo? Why is it not happening, to Kylian Mbappe as well? So, like, there is a lot of, working that, Vinicius needs to do. But unfortunately, I say this unfortunately because I feel like our club also is like an enabler of this behavior from, Vinicius Jr. I think this is the biggest problem there. The club is an enabler of this, and unfortunately, he's doing this. But on the other hand, as the comment was saying, pray for Kivio as well. This is what Vini is. He's a whiner, but then he knows how to back up the talk as well. So he's someone who's definitely, he's built for the biggest moments, and he will definitely deliver.
Yeah. Privraj says Saka and 08 partnership showtime. Missed it big. He's on about Martin Odegaard there. Talk to us about your midfield. And also, yeah, so talk to us about your midfield first.
Yeah, actually, our midfield is absolutely, not clicking right now. It's just a midfield that, we're still trying to find the right balance. And Dani Ceballos actually, which you guys will know very well, and surprisingly, was actually, a key cog in our midfield before he got injured. He was, and the reason why is that it's not because, in my opinion, Martin, Dani Ceballos isn't a world-class player or something like that. It's just he has different profile to what the midfielders we have. Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Bellingham, Fede Valverde, they sort of have a certain profile that overlaps with each other. But Dani Ceballos is a different player in the sense that he's that player that, can carry the ball and spray passes. So it's different to what we have. So that's why Dani Ceballos was a very important, cog to our midfield. Unfortunately, right now, since the retirement of Toni Kroos and also the semi-retirement of Luka Modric, we haven't had, a player of that ilk to actually, stitch things together in the middle of the park. And it's more like, the players are just learning on the job. And I know you talked about, Saliba. One name that actually I always, dream about is the return of Martin Odegaard. I just feel like right now, with the imminent departure of Luka Modric, the number 10 jersey being available, Martin Odegaard is a player that can come and, be the final, cog in this.
Hey, what's up with this guy, man? What you mean Martin Odegaard final cog?
Yeah,
I mean, so you're trying to nick Martin Odegaard as well now. You had him before. You had him before and you didn't play him. You know what I mean?
What do you need him for?
He needed some space to go and develop. That's just the thing, and Arsenal gave him the space on the platform, and that's the thing. Now, it's coming home, man. It's coming home, as your English would like to say. It's coming home.
Oh my days, right? Bellingham, of course, has been. He had a great season last year, debut season, absolutely fantastic. How's he been this season?
Actually, that's the thing. A lot of people actually talk about the fact that Jude was this last year, Jude was that, and if you actually watch Real Madrid, Jude is still that player, albeit without the scoring. Because right now, last year we had no striker. Let's not forget about this. Now we have Kylian Mbappe. So, of course, everything's going to go through Kylian Mbappe, and Jude also is playing a more withdrawn role. But when you look at the game, honestly, I don't know what's going on with Jude. But till today, I haven't seen a bad game from Jude Bellingham. Okay, there is a game which is like a 7, a 6.5 because of the level that he set. He set the bar so hard that, sometimes, you can see some games and be like, oh, wow, it's he's underperformed. But actually, he's not underperformed when you compare to what's happened with other players. But he's a player that, loves to take the game by the scruff of the neck, likes to make things happen. He plays on the edge, which is, something that can be sometimes a bit problematic because, you can, of course, like we saw the second leg of our game against Atletico Madrid, he had to miss because he was suspended, So, but honestly, Jude Bellingham has been a player that superseded he came for 100 million euros, right? So imagine if a player can supersede the price tag of 100 million euros, you have to just, imagine what he's done. But yeah, like Jude is an absolute, gem of a player.
Yeah, what I'm going to be looking forward to seeing tomorrow is that sort of matchup between you talk about Jude Bellingham and how much he costs. We've also got a player who costs a lot of money, who's the engine of our team as well, in Declan Rice. And, but obviously both of them teammates for England. That matchup, how those two come up, match up against each other and clash against each other is going to be really, really interesting. Yeah. Because two top quality players.
Definitely, I agree with that, and that's the thing. You look at what Rice has brought to your team as well, because also that's the thing. We've always felt like maybe there's an overpayment from English Premier League clubs when it comes to buying British players, but I kind of feel like Rice is one of those players that have paid every single pound. He's a player that's worth that much amount of money. You see, he's so big, but the way he moves and the technique that he has, it's something that it's just a combination that should not exist. And you look at the delivery he has from the set pieces as well. It's crazy, honestly. So we really have to find a way, to put, Jude Bellingham on Declan Rice. I know, of course, the same way that Arteta would want to put Rice on Jude Bellingham as well, to kind of stop him from, starting those moves for Arsenal,
Yeah. Well, tomorrow, I know you've got Kylian Mbappe down and up front as your striker, but we've got Mikel Merino. Right? Now, you know what? You're laughing, but obviously we've been without a striker. Kai Havertz has been out. Jesus has been out. He's come in, and whilst he's definitely not a striker, but he's scored some very important. His goal return since he stepped in as striker has been very, very good for Arsenal, and he scored. The goals he scored have all been big goals. Yeah. You know what I mean? The goal that beat Chelsea, the goal. That beat Fulham against Leicester. He's really chipped in with some big goals. Yeah. Of course, even the other day for Spain, He scored that equaliser for them. He is a man with the big goals at the moment, and you know he'll know Real Madrid from his time playing at Real Sociedad.
Yeah, that's very true. And like even before coming to Arsenal, like like Marino has been a player that has shown up at the big moments for the big occasions, more or less. And I agree with that. But again, this is the thing, like it's it's different gravity. Like playing Maresca's Chelsea or playing Silva's Fulham is not playing Real Madrid. I mean, with all due respect to those teams, but yeah, of course, I'm expecting Mikel Merino to give a bit of a problem somehow. To and that's the thing about also players like Mikel Merino is that because he's an unorthodox centre forward, he has the ability to make movements that the centre backs are not expecting because he's a different profile of a player. So I think that's something that we have to look out for, especially when we consider that Raul Asensio also is still learning the trade more or less. He's learning on the job. So I expect to see a bit of if things going on within him and our centre backs, and especially if we have Bukayo Saka whipping in delicious crosses from the left and or from the right and Martinelli from the left, it's going to be quite interesting to see how he holds up against those centre backs, and especially because of he's also like very aerially dominant. Like he's a physically imposing player as well. Although Rudiger is a good player, for some reason like Rudiger hasn't rediscovered that physical dominance that he had when he was playing in the Premier League. So I do think that's one area that Mikel Merino could use to exploit the Real Madrid defense.
Yeah, in your opinion, right? You've spoken about like depleted at the back. Injury-wise, Real Madrid. You said that the midfield's not been firing, right? We all know about the Real Madrid heritage. We all know how good you guys are. You always turn up on the big occasions. But could Arsenal just be catching them, Real Madrid, at the right time? I mean, we've got our injury problems as well, but could we be catching you guys at the right time that maybe there could be a chink in your armor that we could, with the amount of key players that are out?
You know what, Robbie? That's what everyone thinks, man, and that's just it. Like it's Real Madrid, and we have this, as you said, like this heritage. Like Carlo Ancelotti has a way with this group of players that you always look at. Okay, like you do not stand a chance. I remember last year against Bayern Munich. It was like, yeah, it wasn't the very best of games, but somehow we scraped through. And honestly, like I do understand what you're saying. At this going into this first leg, I just put Arsenal as slight favorite. Of course, overall across the tie, I do think Real Madrid are the favorites across the two legs. But I just feel like, although it looks that way, Arsenal are actually also right there for the taking. There is a reason why, in my opinion, this unspectacular Liverpool are 12 points ahead of Arsenal.
Yeah.
I do feel like, as I said, like at the beginning, like I feel like there's been, a reverse, like, the stick has been in reverse for Arteta this season for some reason. I don't know why that is. Like I do feel like there is a reason why, because like sometimes, and also the form of your players, like last year we had Martin Odegaard playing phenomenally. Right now, Odegaard looks the shadow of the player that he was last year and 2 years ago, more or less. So it's, I do feel like we are two teams that are not in our best moments right now. We are both there for the taking. So I feel this game is going to come up to the moments of individual brilliance. And if there is anything, this is what Real Madrid does the best.
But one thing I would say to you, right? Let me give you a little warning, right? Because in the Champions League, though, we have been playing good. We may not have been sort of hitting the straps in the league, but in the Champions League, we have been actually playing well. We finished third in the group stages. I mean, last game, I know it's PSV. We people expect us to win that game. We went away there and put 7 past them. We went away to Sporting, put 5 past them. I mean, they have been playing very well in the Champions League.
Especially Martin Odegaard, actually. Funny thing you can say about him is in the league, it's been not good enough. But in the Champions League, he actually kind of turns up in it, which is really, I think that's most frustrating for us because we saw how good he was against PSV, for example. And it's like, why are you not doing this in the league? But for some reason in the Champions League, it's just kind of clicking for him. I don't know if it's because Champions League teams give us a bit of a benefit of the doubt compared to Premier League teams. But yeah, I think that's one thing you could say, I guess.
Okay. There's a question for you here from Arsenal Spartan. He says, speak on the Sociedad 4 goals conceded at home when Manchester United spanked them.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, if he's gonna go there, I mean, we lost to AC Milan at the Bernabeu, right? So I mean, that's not like Milan is like the worst thing that can happen. I mean, okay, we go back. We've considered 7 goals. No, actually, I think we've considered 7 goals, or rather 8 goals in the last 3 home games. Yeah. 8 goals in the last 3 home games. Like, that's absolutely shambolic, And the game, as you were talking about Sociedad, the 4-goal, it's absolutely, there was no reason to actually concede 4 goals in that game. It was absolutely shambolic. And that's the thing I've mentioned, like our defense is there for the taking, especially with the set pieces that Arsenal have. Like it's a place that's going to be exploited. But the issue is this: how do you keep our players down? Because as I say again, we're not going to go to Arsenal and play football. We're going to go to Arsenal and wait and wait and wait till we are able to counter. So that's it. How do you stop our guys on the counter? This is just the thing.
They kick them.
Yeah. I mean, I do think like the game is not going to have a lot of goals because I think Arsenal also is a very disciplined team, and like Sociedad is a very expansive team. Honestly, I do think like right now Arsenal are more disciplined and more cautious to what they do, and of course, like it's the latter stages of the Champions League. We're not expecting to see tennis scores kind of game here or there. But I do know like our defense is fragile, but eventually, one thing about our team is that we've not been playing good. Even last season, there were moments where we weren't playing really good. But if there is anything, you're talking about playing well in the Champions League. Well, for Real Madrid, that doesn't matter. We play like garbage for 90 minutes, but we still win. How do we win? We don't care. This is just the
quality.
Point.
It's quality. We got another Real Madrid fan. Let me see if I've got Raúl should be in the building. I don't know. Let me see. Raúl, how you doing?
Hello. Look where I am.
The ultimate flex, yeah.
I just read that. I just saw that you're not scared. You say that, right?
Where are you?
I am in central London with my people. They are my fans,
Now, hey, Raúl, right? Was you the other day? Was you at the women's game the other day?
Yeah, I was there. What happened?
I thought that was you. Yeah, because we were sat sort of above you.
I think I was under you, right?
Yeah.
I saw.
Yeah, like Cecil goes to me. That's Raúl. Look at that.
Yeah, I think so.
And you saw what happened on that night, didn't you?
Yeah, Robbie, but we created the team 3 years ago. The woman, don't play with that. Robbie, no. It's not the same history. You don't have anything to say, Robbie. It just, 3-0. Yeah, it's true, but now it's different game, different chance, It's Real Madrid. You know what happened with Real Madrid. If not, I can tell you tomorrow. No problem.
So where are you? You down there with some Real Madrid fans?
Yeah. We are here just having a chat, speaking between some people from Spain, just sharing this trophy that probably, just look but don't touch. So, but yeah, having fun. Yeah.
You feeling confident, Raúl?
Confident. Oof. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Robbie. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie because it's not because you have injuries or you have. It's because I don't know, but I don't know. Honestly, I'm not scared, Robbie. I am not scared.
No,
it's the feeling. It's the feeling of Real Madrid. Eh? It's not because me arrogant, stupid. No. It's the feeling of Real Madrid. It's because of how you are playing, the experience. Robbie, who you won this season? Give me one main team that you won this season. Give me one name, please. Give me.
Man City.
In the Premier League, one.
Man City. Hold on, Man City. Man City. Yeah, Man City at home will be. So remember, you're coming to. Let me just readdress. Let me get some chest back. Let me get some chest back in this thing. Yeah.
Robbie,
Manchester City came to our place.
Fifth in the Premier League. Fifth in the Premier League this year.
They are,
fifth.
but Manchester, when they came to our place, they weren't fifth. And Manchester City came to our place, and we beat them 5-1. Right?
5-1. Yeah. Good.
Don't take us lightly. Don't take us lightly. That was without Saka. That was without Saka. Right?
Saka.
We went away to PSV. We put 7 past them. We went away to Sporting. Right? We destroyed Sporting 5-1. And also, let's not forget, we finished 3rd in the group stages. Right? You guys just about scraped.
Liverpool finished first, and where is Liverpool, Robbie? It doesn't matter. The season starts now in April.
We beat
what are you
PSG
talking
as
about?
well.
No.
We beat PSG as well.
Yeah,
And
PSG in the group
really
stage. In the group stage. No, it's not like that. But congratulations. You are in the, in the quarterfinal against us. So Let's see what happens tomorrow. no.
See,
I
we
have
got to
to.
silence this
I
guy,
know.
man. I'm telling you,
I know.
we need it.
Robbie.
We have to silence him.
No, I'm not gonna lie. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I am real, and I am not arrogant. It's the feeling that we have. When I read in the news, Robbie is not scared about Real Madrid. No, you are scared. You are scared, Robbie. Be honest. You are scared. Yeah.
Look, he's got some other Real Madrid fan there in the background as well. Who's he?
Yeah, I'm a Real Madrid fan. Yeah, around here.
Yeah?
I told you we are a Real Madrid fan here. Yeah.
Look at him. Look, he's got his badge out. Like, hey, listen.
Yeah.
Don't take us lightly tomorrow. Listen, we know
No,
the
no,
heritage.
No, we are
We
gonna
know
play
how good
seriously.
you are.
Robbie, we are gonna play seriously with the best team tomorrow. Lucas Vasquez, Alaba, you know. Don't worry. We are gonna play. We have to play with the best
But
team.
what happened? You lost at the weekend, though. I mean, Farouk was just telling us that it was a
Yeah.
pretty poor performance.
Yeah,
I
La
mean,
Liga, yeah. But it's different. It's different, Robbie. It's different.
Why?
We didn't win, Robbie. We didn't win because we didn't want. We didn't want. Vinicius is not running. Mbappe is not running. We are not running. We didn't want. You will see tomorrow. It's gonna be different. Completely different. It's the feeling that we have this season. When they want, they run. Do you see the first the game in Manchester? Do you see what they did? The best football ever. Why? Because they won. I don't know what happened. It's the feeling that as Real Madrid fan, we have this season. Why we don't win every weekend? Why? Because they don't want. They are lazy. They don't want. They don't run. They are like, oh, I am fucking Vinicius. You know, I am playing against Valencia, almost relegate, and I don't want to run. I'm gonna rest for Tuesday. You will see tomorrow. Honestly, it's the feeling that we have.
Okay, you better do. Let me give some super chats coming in here.
I have to go. I was waiting for me. Yeah.
Privraj says, careful, Robbie, you're giving too many warnings. I've got to warn them, man. You know what I mean? Because like they're not taking heed of any of the warnings that I'm giving them. Rasmus said 3 of the goals that Sociedad scored were because of Agent Alaba. He won't start tomorrow. You lot make a lot of excuses, don't you? Kusta says, Raul, if we win, you have to give Robbie that trophy.
Exactly.
We got to earn that trophy first.
It's gonna be for you.
And he also says Real Madrid are coming to Bayern Munich's training ground, aka their Emirates. Listen. That Arsenal that got battered by Real Madrid is long gone, right? It's a much better Arsenal now. Of course, listen, the heritage of Real Madrid, you know.
Yeah.
But then Mateus has got a chat for you. He says, why was it a teenage Barcelona smashed them? The derby, doesn't the derby matter? They're also lazy in one of their biggest games. That's true. They beat you. Was it 5-1 on two occasions? You're not unbeatable, are you?
We are not.
Didn't that matter?
Maybe you can. It matter. But you can win tomorrow, maybe. It's football. But it's not the feeling that we have at the moment, 24 hours before. It's not the feeling that we have at the moment.
Okay, right. I need to get predictions. Let me start with you, Farouk. Give me your prediction for tomorrow's game. We'll revisit next week's game. I'm going to get you both back after so that we can revisit it. But for tomorrow's game, let's have your prediction, Farouk, and then you, Raul.
2-1 Real Madrid.
2-1.
Yeah, Real Madrid.
2-1 to Real Madrid.
Yep.
For you, Raul, tomorrow.
4-0 Real Madrid. Why are you laughing, Robbie?
4-0.
Why are you laughing, Robbie?
No, we're not conceding. No,
Okay.
we haven't conceded 4 goals. What was that? Remember that stat the other day?
We haven't
Fair enough.
conceded 3 goals since nothing.
We played Luton.
2024?
Yeah.
And that's last season, 2024 as well.
We don't concede
We haven't
lots of
conceded
goals.
2 or more goals since then.
Yeah, but when was the last time that you played against Real Madrid?
That's including in Champions League games.
Exactly. No. I mean, I don't know. It's the feeling, Robbie. It's the feeling. The feeling,
right? Or is it that pint I see you drinking where you come in and tell him about 4-0? You're not
It's the
beating Arsenal 4-0.
No. Okay, it's the first time, Robbie. But
He's on the Australia, fam.
Yeah, that's straight,
Yeah.
right? Listen,
No,
I'm
no,
going to go.
it's Cruz Campo. It's Cruz Campo. It's from Sevilla. It's Campo from Sevilla.
I'm going 2-1 to Arsenal. 2-1 to Arsenal. Where are you going, Kenya?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go 2-1. I would like a 3-1, but let's go 2-1 because I think they'll definitely score and they'll make it hard. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like just based on how the energy is gonna be tomorrow, I think we can win.
Yeah.
It'll be hard though.
Remember that.
I think with us, right? I think what it's going to come down to, as I said, it's a big miss not to have Gabriel. But I think what it's going to come down to us is we've got that sort of midfield and back four have really got to concentrate tomorrow. No silly mistakes. We've seen the team defend brilliantly this season, right? So no silly mistakes and defend really, really well. And then I think, kind of like what you guys said, then maybe we can catch Madrid on the counter.
You know what happened tomorrow when you said I'm not feeling mistake, Robbie? This trophy is so heavy, so hard to get. And when you pass the ball to someone with no experience, they are struggling to find your colleague. They are struggling to just make a nice pass. It's my opinion, and it's gonna happen tomorrow. Let's see, Robbie.
Well, listen,
actually, you know what, Robbie? Actually, like you guys are giving a 2-1 prediction, right? Like I do think a 2-1. As for me, as a Real Madrid fan, I'll pick that right now. 2-1 to the Bernabeu. I am 99.9% sure we go through. If Arsenal leads 2-1 from the Emirates tomorrow, and we don't have suspensions, we don't accumulate yellow cards, I think we go through 99%. Because I just don't see you guys surviving.
I think the one thing about this Arsenal team that we've seen this season, it hasn't been the most fluent Arsenal team, but one thing about them, they don't concede a lot of goals, right? So even a 2-1, I'm not saying I don't say that makes us go through, but it gives us a very good chance in that second leg. I think if we can take any sort of win to the Bernabeu, I do think we got a chance because we are one thing about Arsenal, they're a very well-organised, disciplined team. They don't concede a lot of chances. They're defensively very strong. They get into a really good shape. A very hard team to score against and to break down. So, but listen, it's not going to be easy. Obviously, Real Madrid are the favourites, but I do think we got a good chance tomorrow. I do think we got a good chance, and we'll revisit it after that. Well, I want to thank you both. Sorry, Raul.
No. I was wanted to say thank you. I had to go. A lot of fun now waiting for me. So
yeah. Well, listen, enjoy yourself.
All the best tomorrow. Enjoy that night. It's not easy to reach, 1/4 finale in the Champions League. And honestly, all the best tomorrow, guys. Enjoy. Thank you very much.
Raul, thank you very much, man.
Nice to
Bye.
That's nice. Thank you very much, Raul. And also, Farouk, I want to thank you as well for coming on and really enlightening us. And once again, tell people where they can find your channel, you and your guys over there in Spain doing a great work with your channel. Tell everybody about your channel, where they can find you and subscribe to you.
Yeah, like we're on YouTube. Like you can find us on Let's Be Real Podcast. It's on YouTube, and similarly, you can find us on on Instagram as well, on Twitter, Let's Be Real 1902. Let's Be Real 1902. You can find us all over there. More or less, like just check on our YouTube page. The link to all our socials is there. You can just find us, drop us a chat, and you can catch us on our weekly or rather bi-weekly episodes as well.
All right. Well, listen, Farouk, thank you very much for coming on. We'll get you back on ahead of the second leg as well, so that we can discuss that. I'm going to be over there in Madrid for that, so looking forward to that. But listen, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, guys. Okay, all the best, but not just for tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As Farouk there, we need to silence that Raul. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Anyhow, it's please, Arsenal, man. Come on, show up, man. Show up. You can understand why he is so he's not even being arrogant. They've got a great side. When you
can speak like that. When they're saying that, what is there to say? They won it 15 times.
Yeah, the only person who could take him on's Ty.
Yeah, we should have.
But listen, it's going to be a great game. I cannot wait for that game tomorrow. We're both at the game tomorrow. And also, don't forget, we've got the big watch party at the Box Park in Shoreditch. If you want to get along to there, you're in London, want to get along to there, watch that game with hundreds and hundreds of fans and us. We're going to be streaming live from there with our live watch party. All you got to do is get along to Box Park's website and book yourself a place there if you can't get into the game. It's the next best thing, so make sure you do that. We're also going to be doing a watch party for the away leg as well. Let's hope it's worth it, right? Yeah. But it's the big one tomorrow, guys. We're looking forward to it. Arsenal versus Real Madrid. Cannot wait. This is why we love football. This is what we live for, these huge, huge games, and it doesn't get any bigger than this. Arsenal versus Real Madrid at the Emirates Stadium. Once again, thanks to all of you guys for joining us tonight. Kenya, thanks for being on. Okay. Right. Yeah, we'll be back. Well, actually, we won't be back tomorrow at 7 with a live. We'll be doing the watch along, starting 11, and also the watch along. And then we'll be back on Wednesday this week with the Bias Premier League show. Ty's going to be in the building, White Yardie, myself, and hopefully we'll be talking about our big Arsenal win. Let's hope and pray. Guys, thank you very much. Listen up. You're watching TikToks all day anyway, so why not get paid for it? Ever thought about making money from TikTok but you don't have any followers? Well, forget the 1,000 follower rule. GFN Vault has just changed the game. AFTV and DR Sports have partnered with one of the biggest UK creators, Anthony Owo, to bring you GFN Vault.
Our agency helps you earn, grow, succeed with exclusive support. With 0 following, you can start earning straight away. No gimmicks, no catches, 100% free.
Every big creator started from nothing, including me. So why not you?
Whether that is football, gaming clips, or just chatting complete and utter rubbish, anyone can be a creator, just like me.
So hit the link right now, get involved, and start earning today with GFN Vault. Do not sleep on this.